one of your goals in life is uncompromising excellence, then you need to become a master at communication. This does not mean, however, that you should spend your time and energy debating idiots. The reality is, no amount of evidence, no amount of arguing can stop an idiot from being an idiot. No person in history has ever been able to use words and facts to enlighten an idiot. This just does not happen. Especially not if you're bad at communicating, if you're at the beginning of your journey, just as I am, for example. So even if the masters can't do it, we can't do it either. Let me tell you something. Up until basically 2 weeks ago, I used to have the bad habit that I argued and debated all the time. And the thing is, it's just a waste of time. Like one of those arguments was about walks. Should you go on walks? Should you not go on walks? So I presented my case. Well, going on walks increases your testosterone because you see the sun and you breathe fresh air. Going on walks makes you social. Going on walks gives you time to think. Going on walks separates you from the bad habits. And that person still said that walks are a waste of time. And I mean, why am I wasting my time debating these basics all the time? It's always the basics that I'm debating. And I'm sick of it. You know, I try to be as unemotional as possible because I know that emotional videos get more views and thus it gets reinforced, and I don't want that. But I still can't help myself at being disappointed at myself for not realizing earlier that arguing with idiots is a waste of time. I somehow only learned that 2 weeks ago. But anyway, it's not just that arguing itself is a waste of time. It's also the case that it wastes quite a lot of mental bandwidth, because usually when I argue, I don't just argue, but after the argument is over, I think about all the things that I should have or could have said. And so that itself wastes so much mental energy. It's unbelievable how I allowed myself to live that way. So now, instead of arguing, I just focus on being and becoming better. Because the antidote to arguing isn't to shut up, but it's to divert all your energy to live an amazing life so that all of your arguments become self-evident to everyone who is willing to listen. You know, most people have a very nasty way of arguing. They don't base their arguments on their ability to think freely and on their personal experiences. Instead, they have their ideology, and then they combine a few of these axioms that the ideology has in order to produce an answer for every question of life. The thing is, when you argue from personal experience and from your observations and from your ability to think freely, it will take you months or years to come up with seemingly simple to come up with answers for seemingly simple questions. But someone who's ideological will be able to find an answer out of thin air and generate it within seconds. So when you argue against someone ideological, you have essentially no chance, because they argue like a desert. Everything that you say gets diverted. Everything that you say gets countered with something that they take out of thin air by using their axioms. If it takes them seconds to come up with answers and it takes you years to come up with answers, you of course will lose. irregardless of who's actually right. And so my answer is, just live your life and demonstrate the superiority of your philosophy without obsessively trying to debate. This is a much more peaceful way to live, because then you get to divert all of your mental bandwidth towards being better, rather than arguing, which usually puts you in a very negative mental space. And as you can see right now, I don't have the happy, grateful, present energy that I usually have, because I talk about arguing. So arguing itself decreases happiness and decreases your emotional state, meaning it's harmful to you. It makes much more sense to then instead focus your entire energy on living your life and demonstrating the superiority of your philosophy by living and not by arguing about it. Let me tell you something more. A lot of people are scared of the dead internet theory. The dead internet theory says that essentially most, if not all, content is generated by artificial intelligence on the internet. And so they say artificial intelligence just combines what people usually say and then reproduces it without adding any new insight. But the thing is, even if all content, even if 100% of content was to be generated by humans and not by AI, nothing about the internet would change, because most people can't or don't think at all ever once. And so their ideas are just slogans applied in different contexts. And so it could very well be said that arguing with an idiot, with an ideologically infested person, is akin to talking to a robot which has a few select answers. And you know that someone is ideologically infested if you can predict every single thing that they're going to say. So in that sense, why bother talking to them if you can predict everything that they're going to say, that they're going to say? It's useless, you know. And so keep this takeaway. Instead of debating, instead of arguing, instead of questioning your own reality when you know that it is right, instead of risking your social status by arguing about pointless things or even important things, just live your life and demonstrate that you are right by the way you're living and not by the words you speak. And so my name is Kirill. My goal is to inspire 10,000 good decisions. If this video helped you, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.